She's your queen to be. Queen to do whatever
everything
His
about
Highness desire.
Yeah, not sure how we just come in to She's Your Queen to Be. You got something you want to tell us, Fresh?
No, I was feeling good, just harmonizing a little bit, bro. Just harmonizing a little bit.
Something get placed on your spirit.
That's all it was. Something placed on my spirit. How you feeling on this beautiful summer day, Brother Dion?
I'm all right, man. Just lot of stuff going on this weekend, and I've been involved in my fair share of it. Yeah, man, just enjoying it. It's like Paris actually said something that was super funny. Paris from Pot, she was like, man, it's her first time really in a while, like sitting down and having like a weekend in Atlanta. And I kind of feel the same, like just a weekend where you ain't had nothing planned. So you could just kind of partake in the shit that's happening in the city. That's kind of how I feel, especially after last weekend.
Like I said it to myself, just being up here, I think on the last podcast we talked about how our July is always crazy. Mm-hmm. So like this has been the first weekend, and I was kid free this weekend. Like legit, didn't really do too much, nothing. Mm-hmm. Just especially like yesterday, like didn't have to open the gym, so I got to sleep in late. Church picnic, so went back up to the church, hung out there for about 2 or 3 hours with my family up there. Then I came home, and it was stuff to do. Like Fresh, his group had a day party. I wanted to kind of go to that, and I'm taking a nap on accident. And then I woke up, and I was just like, man, I don't really feel like doing too much of nothing. Like I tried to get into it. Like, man, let me see what's out there. Let me find something to get into. But as me and your favorite quote, Dion, by World Wide West, you don't go chasing the night.
Man,
don't chase the night.
Don't chase the night. So I sat my black ass home.
Yeah,
it's good feeling, man. Like July tried to take me out, Jack.
I've been detoxing and cleansing, boy. I haven't had a drink since the nigga cute. I think Black alumni really weighed a lot on me.
Yes.
Like I don't know if I fully recovered enough to even drink at the nigga cute, let alone the way I drank. We had a 1942 out there. Then we went back out west, and we was kicking it out west, and we was like, let's go get another fifth. My good friend Will said, I'm done. I ignored my body and kept going. And, after several shots of Anejo, man, I've been out of the count since, man. So, been nothing but alkaline water and cheese eggs for me.
It's okay. Serious.
Serious. Yeah, it was really real, boy.
But we're alive, and that's all that matters.
Live and kicking.
Right. I think one thing about July, and I always say this, every July is a month where if you're in Chicago, part of a certain demographic, July gives you the potential to go broke.
Yeah.
So you really got to watch your ass in July. You really got to watch your pockets. Like just make a concerted attempt not to go broke in July. You always have to do that.
Man, I budget the fuck out of July. So I'm actually proud of myself.
I didn't. and I'm unemployed. That shit is crazy. Because to me, it's like July does have the potential to leave you broke, starving, and gangbanging, but every other July really turns it up a notch. Like by Black alumni being thrown in the mix, I think that really stirs things up a little more than a regular July in Chicago when you throw in a random trip. You know what I mean? Carbondale a cheap trip, but
it's still a trip.
It's still a trip.
It's still
a trip. Yes, exactly. So that really turns things up a notch too.
But enough of that. We survived. The people know that we survived.
Right, we survived, and we're gonna do it again next year.
Yeah, I know that.
Let's stop thinking about it.
I know that about it.
Let's get straight into it. We'll be talking about today, Dion.
Oh man, we got so much going on. So much stuff that happened, but you know what? Let's do this because I think this one is kind of pressing. Oh, you know, we're not gonna get to pressing first. We're not gonna hit y'all with anything going on in the world first. So we do a lot of topics talking about technology because it's in the fabric of our everyday life, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one thing I was thinking about, man, we were young, like, you know, we were young. We in our mid-30s. We didn't have Uber and Lyft and all of that. And I see how young people are thriving with Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, all that. And I'm like, man, you know, we used to throw parties and we used to have to find people to rent parties like on the internet and all type of stuff, man, renting homes and things like that. And you couldn't just literally pick up your phone, hit an app and, you know, like, you know, have somebody come pick up you to go somewhere. Like it was, you had to make an effort.
Yep.
So one question I had between all the new technology services out, which one do you wish you had when you was younger? And give me one instance where you would have loved to have used one of these joints.
Ooh, to me, my lack of a means of transportation, it definitely would have been Uber. It was this night. I don't need to say the chick name, but this had to be like, it was in my younger years. I had to be like 23, 24. I was dealing with a chick from college. She was a lesbian, but I was like her go-to wee-wee whenever she decided to journey back into the land of the living.
Go-to wee-wee.
Go-to wee-wee.
Right, Douglas Morrow.
Whenever she wanted to, you know, scurry on back to the land of the living. And I remember her calling me one night, like, man, I'm with all my friends. They wilding out. Where you at? And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in the crib. What's up? You need to get here immediately. Now, this place is downtown, man. I'm exhausting all my resources. I'm calling everybody in the phone who got a whip. What's up? What you on? What's up? Everybody in for the night. It's like 11:30, 12 o'clock. So everybody got their plans for the night. Just so happened this one of my lame weekends. Man, she called me the next day like, man, we couldn't even take no pictures. It was that wild. And she was like, you the only person we called. And I'm like, what? Dog. Dog. I would have hopped in that Uber so fast, bro, to get to that hotel, bro. I think that's it, bro. I think that's one thing in my life I think I missed out on at a young age. I had to be like 22, 23. Because she was still a pup. She was like 20. Man, that would have been one of them I get around Tupac type nights. You know what I mean? Remember he was in the bed, he was doing a little elbow, like give
Right.
pop up. Yeah, so I think that would have been my motherfucking case. I would have needed an Uber Jack.
Okay, I think for me, it's like a two-part answer. I think the technology I wish I would have had the most. At first, I was gonna say Facebook, how it is now, and have that back in college, because but then like the repercussions of that alone.
Yes,
like old people say, dead in the ditch, digging up my own grave with that.
Yes.
So, but something I think would have instantly saved me money and time and effort and been more efficient with the hoes in college would have been if we had FaceTime back in college and like iPhones and how like data plans are shaped now.
Oh my God.
So let me take you all back, all you youngsters who listen to this podcast. Back in the year of 2003, 2004 of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. In order for you to have a phone plan, like there was no any data plans. For me, I had 450 daytime minutes before now. Text messages were like, I forgot how a text message plan are. Like you get like what 1,000 text messages in an hour,
something like that.
Yeah. So imagine having this plan while having a girlfriend who lived long distance So like you got to I got to talk to my girlfriend. So you got to give her some like daytime minutes allotment. Then you have like people like at school that you like needed to talk to, like your guys to set shit up. Like and if you talking to other multiple women on campus, you doing that too and sending out texts. Like I think if I had FaceTime and like Wi-Fi was more readily available, like all that shit combined, like if I had like the iPhone XR back in 2004, oh shit would have been moving, Jack. Motherfucker, you've been able to talk to your lady anytime you want on FaceTime. You had to use no minutes, shit like that. Back then I was like, yeah, just call me after 9 and we can talk about our day because ain't nothing that important that we can talk about from Dallas to my daytime minutes.
True indeed.
She would have been like a dope line.
Bruh, exactly. And so the technology, like I have a story about a time where I could have used a Lyft/Uber as well.
Oh my god!
This shit really almost fucked me up with my grandma. Everybody who knows me, me and my grandma, I'm my grandma's favorite. We don't get into arguments. She got pissed though this one night. So it was, I want to say, a night or two before I went back to Carbondale after they had kicked me out. So Carbondale SIU had let me back into school like a week or so ago. My grandma was like, cool. I got, she had a few hundred for me. This one I knew my grandma was like low-key rich. She had a few hundred for me to go back down, put some down on housing and go on about my business with some extra spending money. So I had a girl who, I won't say where she's from because it'll give away too much. It was a girl who I was very close with at the time. She had a baby daddy, but they weren't together, quote unquote. Me and her stepfather were real cool. So he ended up like having an impromptu Madden tournament. Like I want to say a night or two before I went to Carbondale. I was like, man, I don't know how to get over there. He was like, I'm gonna have such and such pick you up. So old girl picked me up, and unbeknownst to me at this tournament, like her BD was there as well. Now, me and this girl, it was damn near known that we had like a big crush on each other, but the BD didn't know, but I think in his heart of hearts, he kind of knew. So I'm over there, and of course, I got to play this dude like in the first round of this Madden tournament. It was already awkward. And at this time, I was actually pretty decent in Madden. So I think I beat Fam like 56-14. So he ended up fuming, steaming. I'm like, man, it's getting kind of late. And at that time, like, my grandparents, they were still on like, you on our roof, you in college, you still kind of got a curfew. Gee, it was like 3 a.m, and we still just turned. I'm like, man, I got to get home. And this is that point in time, I wish I had an Uber. I'm like, man, I'll forfeit. But my dumb ass actually got to like damn near the championship round.
And still out there playing Madden.
Gee, I ain't get home like 5:30. My granny was already up cooking breakfast. When I tell you, she was heated at me, talking about you giving me no money, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, Joe, I need that cash. Can I go back to Carbondale tomorrow?
Now you see the difference of how me and Aunt grew up?
Yep.
He over here trying to use an Uber to get home
back to my grandma
at the age of 30.
Relax.
Well, I'm trying to get to a motherfucking all you can eat. Never mind.
all you can eat.
God.
Coochie Fest 3000. It was prime times in the Ingram Peterson household. But my grandma, she recognized that it was just a one-time slip up and gave me the cash the morning of I was supposed to leave. So all was well.
Whew. Okay.
Yeah, because I know with your technological advanced ass, there's something you got
he fucking around here. He fucking around here Uber and left already.
Right.
No, man. I think I go back to those days where we used to have good old house parties. And we used to have a good old house party and we just be at somebody's house and it'd be women there and the women looking good. So what ends up happening. Dudes always play this game at house parties on who could last the longest.
Yep. We call that the old Royal Rumble.
Yep.
Niggas start getting eliminated left, right. Like, man, I'm just gonna leave. Bet. There's one nigga down.
The fuck?
Right, you just stay there, and then it was super funny because it would be people that kicking it, and it was actually people who would have parties, and some of these guys I used to be weird because it would be some guys that was literally like waiting that you knew were like down to like spend the night, go to the next morning. Like if it get late enough, niggas start asking weird questions about breakfast and shit. They just trying to throw everybody off to see, all right, like, can I take this shit far enough, like, to get these other niggas to leave? And I would be like, nigga, I need to sleep in my own bed. I'm not sleeping on nobody's couch, none of that. Like, you niggas crazy. So it was one night where I was at a party, and it was a girl. I always wanted this girl. I always wanted to just see what it was like, right? I always wanted to just test the water. So it was funny. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like, all right, okay, cool, waiting, and then everybody kind of like leaving, dudes is dropping off, and we was kind of flirting, but nothing had ever happened. So I'm like, okay, like dudes leaving, and then it was like she had 2 family members there, and she was like, hey, like, can I give them a ride home? And I'm like, I could get them a ride home. But when I tell you, it was like late enough to where the sun start coming up, right? And then like out of nowhere, like me and this girl, we start, as the young kids say, we start making out, right? So we just start kissing like crazy, like uncontrollably, like off of a movie. And it was just so bizarre to me. Like, what is happening right now? So we just like was kissing, and I'm like sitting there like, all right, like, okay, this is the time. Like I'm finna hit this to the moon. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta take these 2 family members home. And when I tell you, they actually like walked outside, like literally, like I'm kissing this girl. They walked outside like to my car. And when I tell you, like the sun was out, I walked outside. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take them home. So I hit her with all right, I will be back. Like I'm gonna go drop them off. I'm coming back. Like, don't go to sleep. Like, go get in the shower or something. So literally, like I took them home, but we ran into like weird stuff happening in the morning. And when I tell you, I was just so like peed off at that point, like my whole ordeal taking them home, that I didn't even go back. I just gave it up. I was like, all right, this is foolishness. And then like, nothing ever happened with that same girl after that. So it's like so bizarre. Like I would have definitely like just listen, I got y'all this Uber, this Lyft outside. Don't bother me. Just lock the door and on your way out. Like, yeah. I could have definitely used Uber or Lyft in that instance.
Hey, them Royal Rumbles used to be legit. I remember we had one in the quads, and it was just niggas on top of niggas, Joe. Like niggas sitting on the floor, niggas sitting on the couch. It had to be like 9 niggas just trying to outlast the rest of them. I'm like, you know what, Joe? I catch one of these girls, goddamn it, in between classes or something, bro. I'm not gonna be here for this.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta have some class and like in your waiting competition early. Because it's like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing here?
What are we doing here, fellas?
Because at some point you're like, bitch, I'm me. Like, I'm not about to wait.
True,
trash.
True. I mean, then sometimes you can use that speech just to get niggas to leave and then double back.
That's true. That's true.
Well, see, it's like you in that mode where you got to rely though on the girls that you mess with, or whoever the girls party you at, to have a certain caliber dude there. Because what I found with some of these parties is that some of those niggas was homeless, and we just
and they never cared.
They never cared. And you can't compete in that environment with a homeless gentleman. It just don't work, man. It's just
because when a nigga need a place to lay his head, Jack, he will outweight you to the next day. It would be fucking soon, and y'all both be sitting up looking at each other like, who gonna blink?
That nigga homeless. He been through this before. Right. This is a mere stretching before the weightlifting.
Right.
He calls it Tuesday. You struggling to keep your eyelids open.
Right, Joe. Oh, I'm a master in the
And
arts.
women call these type of guys homosexuals.
Oh God, homosexuals.
Hey man, I just know what I know. I see that on the Twitter.
But the crazy part though, I always look at stuff like this, like it's even amazing some of the stuff that we were able to pull off, because even with that being said, like we pulled off some craziness. Like we we threw the St. Patrick's Day party years ago. Like we rented somebody's townhouse in the West Loop, and it was 3 stories, and it was just like, this was way before Airbnb and all that. And I'm even looking like, man, I don't even remember how we found these people, but they gave us their whole place, man. Like everything. And we had so many people like sleeping in that place on all these floors. It was ridiculous. But yeah, man, I couldn't imagine now this being at my tip of my hands, because like I was even at the mall, and there was a young dude talking to his father, talking about prom. And he told his father, he was like, yeah, we need an Airbnb. And his father was like, well, I don't know if y'all could get an Airbnb. You need this. And he was definitely trying to talk his son out of it. And he was like, yeah, you need a credit card. And his son hit him with the, oh, Dad, we've done this before. We got Airbnbs. He was like, so-and-so got a credit card that we put him on. It was another student. His father looked like, oh shit. Like, and I'm like, yeah,
Right.
like, yeah, Pops, the game done changed, Pops. The game done changed.
Definitely.
I mean, these kids, yeah. Like, hey, the thing that made me fucked up about technology and these kids is their ability to go to the above and beyond. Like, some of the worst kids, by me being a janitor, I know some of the worst kids who are so technologically advanced, it makes no sense. Like coming up to you like, hey Mario, Joe, you want something from Uber Eats? I'm like, no, man, oh man, we got lunches if you need lunches, bro. I said, hey man, look. Everybody relax. Everybody chill out. Everybody chill out. Like even like as in our school or in the whole school system, you can't go on certain websites.
Mm-hmm.
Period. But you walk past these kids and they're checking their Facebooks all willy-nilly. How did you bypass a whole fucking cyber wall to get to Facebook?
When kids want to do some shit, they will put their mind to it and do that shit.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Whew. Well, yeah, man.
All I needed was an Uber.
All you needed was an Uber. Hey man, I'm with you. I couldn't imagine growing up with all this, but I kind of wish I would have it. But I do wish I would have, just for the experience, because I think it'd just be like life on steroids. Like,
man, it really would.
It's like
it made us better people, though.
Maybe. do any of y'all watch Euphoria? Y'all don't watch that, right?
No, but I've been hearing a lot of talk about it, so I might just check out an episode or something.
I'm gonna tell y'all, check it out. Season finale tonight, but I watch, and it's super funny because it's like high school. It's like young kids going through this era right now, and it's super funny because just to even think about, because as much as I've been involved with the internet, it's super funny to see the internet, like, think about it, to have it as open as they are, because like, it's a young girl on there. Well, everybody's young in high school, but just the stuff that happens. And, it's one girl who everybody, like, literally every guy she's ever dated has asked her, to film sex. And she's obliged every guy. Right. And every guy has essentially shared the videos. It's like super bizarre. It's a girl who, she's in high school. She's discovered Pornhub. She discovered that men will pay her to be on her webcam, and she's broke. And, one guy turned out, he told her, hey, would you, get on webcam with me? He offered her some money. He sent the money via Bitcoin so it could be sent anonymously, and she turned out now. So it's like crazy to think about shit like that. I'm like, wow. Like I couldn't even imagine, bro. It's next level. Yeah, check that shit out. That's kind of where that question came from.
Okay. Euphoria. I'll tell you. You know, I got no time on my hands.
Oh God. So we got another one that was interesting. This kind of popped up. We seen it on the Shade Room. They were talking about women shooting their shot. I feel like we discussed this before, but we need to bring it back. So we won't take on it long. So the question was like, should women shoot their shot? And if so, how should they shoot their shot?
Well, I definitely feel that women should shoot their shot. I think it helps with their whole helps with the whole selection process. Women always complain about the pics or the men that talk to them. Why don't you try to talk to a man? I mean, that's only common sense. I mean, if someone keeps sending you room service the wrong way, won't you just go downstairs and order the food your damn self? So I feel like yes, women should shoot their shot at men. I don't feel like it should be uber aggressive, but I feel like there's nothing wrong with showing a man you're interested. A shot don't always have to be a long distance 3-pointer. You know what I'm saying? Just take a layup. You know, just tell a man, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? Most men can pick up on vibes. So just give off the vibe. Even if you're not shooting your shot directly, shoot it enough to make him shoot his. You know what I mean? That's still the same way to me. Like if you make the first move, that's still shooting your shot because you still like what's the word I'm saying? Controlling the situation. Mm-hmm. You're still controlling the narrative. So I definitely feel like women should shoot their shot. In this day and age with so much women empowerment going on, hell yeah, shoot your shot. I don't feel like you should propose, ladies. Ladies, stop proposing out here. But you definitely should shoot your shot. Hell yeah. I mean with ease.
You know, I got a few thoughts on the subject of shooting your shot. Like, number one, a lot of women who will be like, oh, why should I pursue a man? A man should pursue me per the Bible. Like, I hear a lot of women say that shit, but I ain't been in church since Easter or Christmas beforehand. Like, so, like, don't make that be the part of the Bible you want to die on that hill of because you did everything else. Number two, like Fresh said, like, you don't even have to blatantly, like, yo, what up, fam? Like, I want your dick. Like, let's go out or shit like that. But I think it also serves a purpose of seeing where you stand with men.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of women, they don't tell the whole story about how they get shot at. Like, they're like, oh, nobody comes at me. No, nobody comes at you that you want to come at you. Mm-hmm. And you need to see, to me, just kind of shoot your shot or make it be known that you're interested in the type of guy that you want to see if that level of nigga wants you, actually.
I hate this
nigga. Looking like this piggy. And you thinking Idris Elba niggas should be hollering at you. Well, why don't you shoot your shot at an Idris Elba nigga
and just see where you stand? See
what happens. See how that works out. And not like, you know, how you ugly fat chicks be doing, just like instantly go to suck dick to holler at a nigga. Sorry.
Personal experience.
I'm sorry. But these things happen. They need to come to light. But like, try to talk to a dude with your personality alone and see what happens. If it works, then okay, cool. You can play on that field. But chances are it won't. And you'll know why. Because dudes, while y'all may think we ignorant, will like respectfully curve you if like we're not interested. And if enough guys in that level of Negro that you want respectfully curve you, then you might have to go down to AAA. Maybe the major leagues aren't for you.
Maybe the majors aren't for you.
And then the biggest point is, like you all have said, if there's somebody that you really want, you know, like, why wait for chance? Like, if we want a particular job, we apply for it. We want to get our kid into a school, we apply to that. But we choose love of all things to take a chance on and say, I hope the person reach out to me.
Crazy.
Those are my thoughts on it.
That's the truth. Where do you stand on this, Dion? That was just a sinister ass laugh.
Honestly, so I have the same thought as Ann, and that's what I've been saying, because when I posed a question on my IG and women would come in and, what I found to be interesting, a lot of women were saying to me like, oh, there were some women who says we shouldn't have to do it. We shouldn't have to pursue, which I understand that. I told them all, I said, nobody's asking you to pursue. Shooting the shot itself is not pursuing. That's really just showing the interest. But I hit them with the same thing and said, because it's something I truly believe. Like, the person that you choose to partner with in life is your biggest decision. It's bigger than career, it's bigger than education, it's bigger than all that. That person, the biggest choice. So if you, as a sane person in the world, telling me, hey, I am going to only choose from the people who come to me, then I think you're a crazy person. And it's that simple. But what I did have was more women saying like, how do we shoot? Like, how do you successfully shoot a shot? Women were like, hey, we not trained for this. And, some women even told me, hey, men are trained for this from their fathers, from their uncles, from the barbershop. And I was like, actually, that's not exactly true. We all don't get that training. Society expects us to have it. So I think what we probably need to do is like tell women how we want the shots to be shot at us. And I'll say for me, like, let's say if somebody wanted to shoot a shot at me, all I say is this: just let me know that let a guy know that you're interested in him, right? So if we'd seen each other 300 times and you got this random interest and you expect me to pick up on all these clues and shit, I could be completely dumb or whatever. Say, I always say, like, say something to the guy that you like. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to come out and say, hey, I like you. You don't have to come out and say, no random shit. Just say, hey. Like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, something, tell him. Cordial.
And okay, cordial is cool, but put a little bit more effort than cordial. Yeah. And I'm saying like this because a lot in my life, there have been a few people who had interest in me and they were very cordial and cool, but I didn't know that they had interest.
Right.
Their best friend didn't even know that they had interest. So take that as a number one. If your best friend don't know that you like a nigga, then that nigga don't know that you like a nigga.
Facts.
You gotta give like a genuine compliment to a guy. When you do that, it will be on his mind damn near the rest of the day. He gonna hit his guys up like, yo, Shorty just complimented me on such and such. Like, man, I ain't know she even noticed that.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's gonna start putting the ball in things in your favor because now if he is genuinely interested in you, he'll go out his way to compliment you or to have conversation. Ladies, liking one or two of our Facebook posts is not necessarily gonna give us the hint.
It's not.
It's not. Especially if it's a popular guy or a guy that multiple women like. He gets likes all the time on his pictures. Not saying I'm that type of guy.
Oh my God.
I'm not a pretty boy. I leave that to other people. But if it's like a guy who looks like the barge, like everybody's liking his picture. Mm-hmm. Step up a little effort in that. Like make yourself notice.
Yeah, or I'm gonna be real with you. Men are intimidated, and I know women could be intimidated sometimes too. So if you put yourself out there and just say, you know what I'm saying, as a lady, hey, Aunt, how are you doing? I know that you look good in your Easter suit yesterday. Now the antennas are up.
Right.
Now the antennas are up. And ladies, that's in the simplest form a way of shooting your shot right there. Just give him a compliment he didn't see coming.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a compliment he didn't see coming. And that's all a free game I'm gonna give y'all for today. I feel like I've been giving y'all a lot lately. That's the last of the free game I'm gonna give y'all.
Next time he got a charge.
Next time I got a charge. Look, Big C.
I always use your words. And then I one thing I'll say is this. And I told a woman this recently. I said, guys, with men, what you often have to do is compliment our appearance, right? Similar to a woman, but a lot of times, like the thing is, as men, we're conditioned to compliment a woman's appearance. You look pretty today. You look cute today. You look beautiful. Even though, women don't like this much, you look sexy. So it's always appearance based, right? But guys don't usually just get blind appearance based comments. You may get some, but when it comes from a woman, and even when you get those some, you thinking, damn, she chose up. Like when you out and a woman stop you or say something, or in conversation say you look handsome or you look cute today, or you think you fly. Oh shit, she just chose up on me. Like that's our thought process. I always say, like, even if you like sitting there and you like, maybe he on the fence, but if you interested in him, you better let him know, like, hey, you look good today. You look fly. He gonna be like, yeah, she just shows up. I need to go ahead and exchange information with her, holler at her, put some work in or something.
See what's really going. What's right. As brothers say.
Yes.
And that's so much the case, man. I don't think it is as hard as women are making.
Yeah, and if you're a woman scared of rejection, because I did hear that as well. Women said they weren't ready for rejection, and I get that. I get it. I don't have empathy for you because as guys, we have to deal with rejection early and often.
Right.
So, like when it comes to that, like, you may get rejected, and it's just, it is what it is. Just deal with it, prepare for it. You'll live. I promise you, you will live. If somebody you like don't like you, you will live. And honestly, I'll say this, and I'm gonna be frank. If you look at yourself and you honest with yourself, and you like feel like you're a dope ass woman, right? If you feel like you're a dope woman and you feel like you got good looks, and you holler at a guy and he kind of reject you, that nigga probably later on, if he's still single, like in a little while, like he might circle back around. And I'm gonna give you some advice, ladies, fellas. Turn the podcast off for 5 seconds. Use that shit to your advantage. Charge that nigga double when he come back.
Yeah. You gotta pay for the coke.
Right. Charge him double.
It's only right.
It's only right.
But ladies, the good fellas of the No Foreplay Show are definitely endorsing you all to shoot your shot. Shoot your shot. It ain't hard as it seems. So
another thing that we have going on the show today, we was good with our topics. We was filtering topics through the week. This one we have to talk about because it's a lot of shit going on. I'm a pivot. This one was actually introduced to us today. One of our favorite gentlemen, one of our favorite black men of all time, Sean Puffy Combs.
Oh God.
We look up today after months of speculation. Looks people trying to figure out what the hell going on. It looks like Diddy has went public with his new girlfriend, 22-year-old Lori Harvey. 22. I know a lot of people say she's the daughter, but she's not the daughter. She is the stepdaughter of Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey's wife, Lori, is of course her mother. I'm not gonna go down a dating history for Lori Harvey. Really, you can Google that. That's not what we're here for. But Diddy is 49. He will be 50 in November. He will be 50 in November, and Lori is just turned 22 this year. And they were in Italy at lunch with her mother and her stepfather Steve. And they hit the internet. They've been out. They've been dressed alike. It's
like magic photo.
Magic. It's a lot of mixed reviews to this. So Fellas, give me your thoughts.
I'll let Ed go first.
So, all right. So it's difficult, right, for me because on one hand, this is what celebrity guys do. All races. So I would hate to be like, what the hell, Diddy? Because that's the culture he's in. He's a rich guy. No matter if he's white, Indian, Asian, purple. Rich guys tend to go for younger, model-looking women. Like, it's like cars. Like, they only gonna have a car up to a certain point before they trade it in and get something else younger, newer. The conversation me and you had earlier, Dion, my only point of view on that is like and at the time I didn't know Steve Harvey was a stepfather. So that does change my perspective on this a bit. But even as a stepfather, like, I don't know how comfortable I would feel being at lunch and my stepdaughter is dating a damn 50-year-old dude. And I'm just like, cool with that? Like, not me. I could be condemned for this later, but not me, man. I couldn't sit at that lunch person.
I don't think you should be condemned because I look at this like one of the guys messing with my daughter.
Yeah. There's only so many.
Like my youngest daughter. my youngest daughter. So yeah, I'm 35. My youngest is 9. So in 15 years, it's like exactly. I'll be 50. She'll be 22. I couldn't imagine one of the guys talking to my daughter. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, where do you see this going? You know why she's there. I can't do it.
And it's like,
I can't do it.
And then, you get to thinking about it a little bit more. And again, we're not going to go into Lori Harvey's dating history, but like, yo, OG, you signing off on this? You cool with this? And I get it. When your kids are dating, you want them to date up. You want them to date into prosperity, hopefully, you want them to be on good footing. But like, at some point, like, what is your morality line on all this? And as the mama, are you just sitting back like, my baby getting it, it's whatever, it's P. Diddy, one of the most successful moguls in the world. Like, why would I turn my nose up? But it's like, I don't know. Like, for me, I look at men who can't date in their age range. And even for Diddy, you 50, cool. Like, I can even see you doing 30, 35. You can have damn near any woman you want, but like, man, like, my 22-year-old daughter, man, bro, I don't like it. Point blank. That's just me. Like, we just went through this with Kels. Like, now, like, granted, Lori Harvey is legal. She's 22. She can make her own decisions. But as we stated before, as 22-year-olds, we still ain't no shit. So that's just me, man. I don't like it. And I love it, but I don't like it.
But my thing is this too, though.
But I can't condemn him too hard because everybody in the culture he is, they do this.
But we're also looking at it from a biased eye because it's Diddy and Steve Harvey's. Will we be mad at Diddy if he just had a 22-year-old IG model?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just making
sure. This makes this. I get what you're saying though. Yeah. It's a little bit more upsetness because of who it is. Another black man, his daughter. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, bruh, like, like, what do they talk about?
But see, that go back to my, why she's there.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I'm saying?
Maybe they don't need to talk.
You see what I'm saying? So it's tough.
How you feel, Dion? Always like your perspective.
So, as I'm getting older, I do like to indulge in a lot of self, explore myself and just different reading materials just about becoming a man and growing into a better man, right? So one thing that's always been interesting to me is that, you always, when you were younger, you would always kind of feel like you can date a younger woman, right? You would feel like you could date a younger woman. And, when you were like in your early 20s, you would meet a girl. Let's say you were 24. You'd meet a 20-year-old and you'd be like, oh, okay, cool, right? And then as you start creeping up and getting older, as you got to be 28, 29, and you would see somebody in the club that was 21, you would kind of have a interesting look at them. You would be like, like, damn, it's a real disconnect. She don't remember, like, to her Kids Bop songs on Nelly, and I used to get it in the club to Nelly. You know what I'm saying? She looking at Jay-Z Changed Clothes like that's a song her uncles used to like. You know what I'm saying? So it's wild to even just think about that. So for me, what ends up happening, and that's super interesting to me, right? This Lori Harvey's 22. She turned 22 this year in January. R. Kelly's girlfriends, okay? R. Kelly's girlfriends, Azriel Clary is 21. The other girl, Jocelyn Savage, is 22. R. Kelly is 54. Diddy is 50. So I get it. I get it. The time frames are different. R. Kelly, he got that both these girls at consenting age. But, granted, outside his other acts, we look at those relationships like they are wrong. And it's super funny. Because you got to follow me. I know people like, I'm building a case here like a lawyer. Pharrell and Jay-Z have a song that I really like. I love it. It's called Young Girl, right? It's called Young Girl. And it's like literally like them rapping about young girls. And Hove verse, he started off, he say, Hove got a young girl, still not quite 21. Okay. So, and then he says, her energy is like lightning in a bottle. I give you a ring tomorrow. And it's so funny because if you read about Pharrell and his company, I Am Other, Pharrell like, hey, I choose to work with women because of their energy. And you can guess that these women aren't 40 like Pharrell, 40 plus 45. They're younger. So I'm gonna wrap all this around. So there's it's super interesting to see that because this is also a pattern with Diddy. He definitely has some kids with women that he, loves, adores, and, all these things. And they're close to his age or in their 40s, but he gonna keep Cassie at the house. You know what I'm saying? And now we look up and now we see him with Lori out in public on vacations. So it's interesting to me just to look at that because my main thought is like, damn, it's like manipulation to me. Just to put it where it is, because the things that I do, I run into young girls. I'm around young girls. Like if you in a music studio, you're gonna run into a young girl and you're gonna have a conversation. If you're in art galleries, you're gonna run into them. You're gonna have conversations. Parties, clubs, you're gonna run into them. You're gonna have conversations. So it's super interesting because I think about me and my limited worldly experience, and then I look at somebody like Diddy, who's experienced 10 more times shit that I have and lived life on a whole different level, but still somehow winds up with these young girls. And I'm like, kind of like, what's the motivation? Because there are women who can match you in terms of experience. They have careers. They're in the same lane as you, but somehow we wind up back to this point where it's just like young, pretty model. So it kind of makes me think like what's happening. There's a super dope book that I read called, I sent it's called The Way of the Superior Man, right? So it's super interesting because it talks about young girls and energy and the reason why men are attracted to these young girls. And it was like super crazy. In the title of the chapter, it says that young women offer you a special energy, right? So the thing about it that it talked about was like, yeah, young women offer you a special energy. Talked about how the energy's dope, it's vibrant, it's from somebody who loves different because they've never been hurt before. All types of just shit that listening to it, you sit there and nod your head. But then he fucked the whole game up because the author said the crazy part is in American society, when we encounter those women as men, it's something in us that makes us want to make those situations sexual so fast. And I was like, fuck. I was like, shit. I was like, it fucked up my whole understanding, right? Because that's what you've essentially seen. And then, but it was interesting because it was saying, hey, in other cultures, sometimes like those women are celebrated but you're not allowed to do, you're not allowed to make those situations sexual. You kind of are told to leave those women alone. And then part of that chapter as well, it kind of flips it on its ear and saying like, hey, you as a grown, mature man, you also should not dim the light of women who have aged because they have their own glow as well. So kind of what I feel like is happening in those cases, like men get that jolt of energy and from these women, and the first thing they want to do is get in a relationship with it. They want to have sex with it and just kind of take off running with it, not knowing that essentially what your old ass is doing is real creep-like and kind of corrupting the energy of that woman. And then we end up in this, we end up, you just contributing to the cycle that's just been happening where, sometimes you got to chill, like go ahead and find you a seasoned woman. I'm not saying she got to be your age, but, find you one that's mature, that's a full adult that can run with you in the world. Like, not this whole, ooh, I like her energy type shit. And nigga, like, yeah, your last album came out like she was even underage, like, so it's wild to me. But yeah, man, I think Diddy a creep. I think he needs to do some real reflection on why the fuck he just go find these young girls.
Diddy went crazy with that shit though, bro. Oh man, like how old is Diddy kids?
Diddy definitely. I feel like Quincy the stepson. Quincy the stepson, like Lori, but I feel like Quincy may be older. What's
Dog? You got to think about this. I have a sister who's 8 years younger than me, and it would be considered creepish to go with one of her friends. Do you see I'm going? Do you see I'm going with this? So imagine how creepish it is to talk to someone who's younger than your kids.
Oh, here's the wild shit. So Quincy is Diddy's stepson, right? Albie Shure's son. So Quincy's 28. Shit.
Shit. She might be too young for Quincy.
I'm sitting here like, what's happening here? Like, this is crazy. So Diddy's son Justin is 25. Shit, Diddy. Whew. This is serious.
It don't sit well with me, but I'm just a broke nigga on the south side of Chicago. So what do I
know? Hey man, you know what? And then Diddy's twin daughters, what they graduated from, 8th grade? Whew. Diddy, this is wild, bro. All right, okay. All right. Yeah. So yeah, Diddy, I'm looking at you real funny tonight, bro. I'm sorry, I have to. It's no other choice for me. Yeah, that's all I got. But I'll say this though. I'm gonna be looking real closely to what the fuck Steve Harvey say about this shit, because he gonna have to speak on it at some point. And I know, Steve, you the stepfather, but when they ask you about this in the interview or some shit like that, Steve, the world will be waiting on your response. Because one thing I would tell you is this, Diddy. You could not date, let's say, how old is Willow Smith?
18. I think.
Willow is 18, right? So let's just say if Willow was 22. I firmly believe that Will would beat the fuck out of you. I think Will would kick your ass, Diddy. Like it wouldn't be no contest. It wouldn't be like the fight with Drake. That's just me.
Yeah, I can see Small Change Willie from Philly
He
going.
not going.
That's some wild shit though. My boy Diddy out here living. But you know, there's probably some people who applaud them and root them on. Like shit, you know what I'm saying? He come in, walk in like 2 steps ahead of her. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all see me. You know, it's like I'm a little young piece with me.
Whew. I'm sure there are. I'm sure it's a lot of people actually that kind of looked at him and was like, yeah, this cold. Diddy pulled, a good move. I'm pretty sure. But I just be looking at it like, I don't know. You ever seen Diddy reality show? Like, what is it, Diddy plus 8 or some shit? Diddy plus 6? So Diddy got this show. It's like Diddy plus 6, and it's just like literally him kind of showing him living and the kids who live with him. And at this point, it's a lot of them. So it'd be him doing stuff with like his daughters, because Diddy got 3 daughters and the boys. So they be in this house, and I just look at it like, so you got sons that kind of still live with you that's older than this girl you dating. This gonna get wild. Like, as much as we, Cassie was older than those kids. Of course, she was in her early 30s, but I just look at it like, man, so if Lori come to live in the crib, like, you're gonna have at least 2 kids older than her in the crib. This gonna make for some good reality TV, Diddy.
Because people definitely go tune in and just see how the fuck this shit goes.
Right. So, so yeah, man. What's next on the docket, Fresh? What's the next topic?
What we had going on? Oh, I think Sunshine turned into Moonlight.
Oh.
So I never know how to pronounce her last name, but it's between Lela Rochon and Nicole
Murphy. Oh.
And Nicole Murphy. We getting all our gossip out of the way. Our Bollywood. We getting all this out the way. We in tune. See, this is why we're urban commentators. We take the subjects and we give our urban opinion on it.
We have to do it.
We go speak on Lela Rochon was dating
Mary.
To
Antoine Fuqua, the director of things, Training Day. Training Day, of course. We got to put Training Day in there, because that's a classic.
Classic. And picture surface of Nicole Murphy and Fuqua smooching. And now the world wants to know what the hell is going on. What's up, Joe? And I have seen so much from this little encounter, it makes no sense. Like, it has started several different wars or debates on Facebook. Like, just because your wife doesn't look like this anymore, does that give you the right to cheat? And it has started a real battle with the sexes, Joe. It's been crazy. But I guess we'll touch on the basics first, right? We'll just touch on our feelings on this. And Nicole Murphy, because I hear this isn't her first time.
Oh man, you know what? That part I'm not gonna touch on. But the shit is rough. The shit's rough. I seen the picture of them kissing, and at first, like, I was so perplexed because, one, I don't know him when I see him, so I was like, all right, what's happening? Then it was explained to me, and people start bringing up them pictures of Lela Rochon, saying she fell off and all of that. And, okay, cool. I get it. She fell off. Nicole Murphy, as we know, she got, the body of bodies, right? She looked like she don't take no days off. I was just kind of shocked because I'm like, they were kissing this was a public place. I was like, well, I don't know what homie gave up. I was like, at this point, I don't know what's happening. I just figured he just threw it all away. But you know, I was shocked because I was like, okay, I got it, I guess. And then when they said, you know, who he was married to, and then they showed them pictures, and they were like, the question everybody posed was like, you know, should he, like, kind of like, does he have that right? If your wife fell off, do you kind of have that right to cheat and shit? And I was like, ooh, I'm not going to respond to any of those questions.
Yeah.
That is good. That's two can play that game.
Oh, baby.
Two can play that game for real because, I mean, we being completely honest, a lot of guys physically fall off more than women in like these regular ass relationships that we see in real life.
Facts.
Like for as much shit as we give women, like, you know, they'll go to the gym before us. They'll work out in packs before us.
Ain't no doubt about it.
And, you know, we use the numbers game to our advantage to let our bellies expand still. Like, I mean, I'm still a good nigga though, baby. Like, what else can you get? But, you know, I stayed away from those questions too because
we have a show.
Once I saw number one, we have a show. Ain't no backlash. Number two, once I saw, and I didn't really get a chance to confirm this, but I feel like it's true, that she had like lupus or something, and that causes the weight gain, which it does. You know, RIP to one of my good friends, Andrea. She passed away from complications of lupus, and definitely affected her weight at some point.
Same thing with my sister who passed away.
Mm-hmm. So, like, when you had that, oh, lupus in this too? Oh, no, man. She won't catch me to this subject with a 10-foot pole, Jack. Because, you know, at that point, it's like, when we get to for better, for worse, for sicker, or in health, you know, all that, you know, if somebody is down for you, the mother, your kids, your wife, and they're going to go through these things, you want to be by their side no matter what. Because, you know, like, ain't none of us perfect. And then women start using like, oh, this nigga fell off, I'm going to start cheating. The crime rate would definitely go up. Man. Because niggas would be pissed.
Man.
So, yes, you got to tread lightly on that. No, I'm not saying this gives free reign to anybody to just let themselves go. Because I know it's people who, it probably depresses them that their mate done picked up 80 pounds since they've been married.
That's a lot.
Okay, 80 is a lot. But 40, 50 is definitely happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, but that goes to, like, what did you fall in love with in the first place?
Right.
You know, the personality of the person. You know, like, now if the person had, like, a go-getter mentality, was always fit, and then you look up 3 years later, and the motherfucker let themselves go, then you got to start questioning what's going on here. And if they like, fuck it, you know, I'm not improving, you supposed to love me for me anyway, they not going to improve no matter what you ask of them, then, you know, there's going to have to be some changes.
Yeah.
Legally or not legally. Somebody's going to get stepped out on. That's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, stepped out, such a good word.
Yeah. That's what our uncles used to use back in the day. And that's just the realities of life. But you got to realize it just comes down to the person that you marry. Like, you got to know who they are in the first place. How far are they willing to fight for you to begin with? So you got to go through a situation where they be like, okay, I'm still going to fight for us through this situation before you get married. Because you don't know who's going to be in the foxhole with you when you are married. And if you don't know that person and how they are in the foxhole, then that's kind of on you.
Ooh, yeah. Marriage is complicated, man. But
it's a beautiful complication, but it's complicated.
But at the same time, bro, you gotta start putting those projections in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You know good goddamn well if you get married to somebody, they're not gonna look like 1984 forever. You know what I mean? So, and to me, she was still Lily Rochon still a pretty woman. It's not like she let herself go and you like she's you unrecognizable. You know what I mean? And like you say, she has complications. Like the temptations go always be there, bro. It's gonna always be some Nicole Murphys around.
Whether your woman fell off or not, temptation always gonna be there.
True indeed.
So that's on you. You gonna you gonna bite that bait or not.
Ooh, baby.
You know, I think it's so interesting because a lot of these things happen, and a lot of people, it kind of let me know, a lot of the dialogue I've seen kind of let me know that or I won't say let me know, but it made me feel like a lot of us look at these marriages and things like that with such a weird kind of eye. And it's hard. I couldn't tell like if people was just talking shit or if they was serious. But if they was serious, I was scared because I'm like, yo, like so much shit happens in life and just in terms of people, in terms of medically gaining weight, losing weight, and just outside of that. You know what I'm saying? You look up and a medical issue happens and fuck around and you can't have sex with your woman for some months. So, you know, damn, that's worse than gaining weight. So now what you gonna do? Like, are you gonna fold? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's an interlude on Black's album, his last album, East Atlanta Love Letter, where it's like, I forgot what woman does this. I feel like it was light skinned Keisha, but she was like, man, like, you know, she was like, niggas want loyalty from a woman. She was like, but where the fuck is y'all loyalty? And she was like, are you just gonna fold on the bitch when time gets tough? And those are her exact words. And I was like, damn, I felt that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at it, and she's been through some things. I know she did lose a child. I know she supposedly has lupus. And now it's like niggas seen the picture of him kissing this other woman and they like ready to fold. They like, well, fuck that shit. That nigga still working. You know, he got money. He stayed in shape. Fuck it. End it. And I'm like, damn, nigga, like, what did you get married for if that's how you feel? You know what I'm saying? Like, nigga, your whole shit was a sham if that was the case. Like, you know, that's what I feel like. Right. It was a sham mockery. So yeah, that's kind of wild to me, man. I just look at it like, you know, granted, I'm not married, but that for better or for worse shit is super real to me. And I'm like, if you choose to walk down the aisle and then that's all it takes is for her to gain some weight, which, you know, especially for people like that, right? Especially for people who have money, and literally don't have to work a day-to-day job. And even if you do, like there are ways to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? There are things like that. And then if you just looking over at somebody and you like, I can't love them anymore because they gained some weight. Like, yeah, you fucking up and you probably didn't love them in the first place. And two, like Anna said some real shit. Like, yo, like, I've seen a lot of married people, and I will say on by and large, women keep it together more than men do throughout the long haul of shit. Like women keep it together. Cause I seen a lot of people fall off, man. Women keep it together cause women will be more self-conscious about it. And the nigga just, you know, fuck around and get that Sunday football belly and just be like, all right, okay, cool. We still solid.
I mean, I can speak to my own shit when I was married. Like everybody who know me and L, like, you know, L was like, oh, this is not the life I'm living. Now, you know, she out here, you know, styling profile.
Fitness guru.
Right, you know, it's just right, fitness guru to the stars. So, right. It took me this summer to be like, all right, enough's enough. Well, I cut out pop out my diet.
Wait. Hold on, and I remember one day I came to y'all house, fam, and I seen the dinner that she made everybody else and what she was eating. I was like, oh shit, she's serious. Like she did made a whole switch up. I was like, ew, what is this shit eating? It was some like she was like some roasted vegetables. It's like, oh shit. And I was
in there with a gyro cheeseburger from Baba's. Just let my life away.
Right. And a Pepsi. And a
fucking
Pepsi. Man, that's been the hardest thing to cut out my life.
Oh.
We only have once every 2 weeks now. Man,
that should be like a drug.
But you know, now, like, you know, it don't taste as good as I used to. But every once in a while, you know, you can hit your lip.
Fam, here's the thing. Once you let go of any of this, most of this stuff that we have that's kind of weird, like when you take like a break from it and you come back to it and like you have time for your taste buds to adjust or reset and you come back to it, you be like, ooh, this shit don't taste like how it was tasting when I was eating one every day or drinking one every day. Whew. So yeah, man. We got that out the way. Let's come back. I do want to discuss. I don't want to leave the people without any commentary about what's happened this weekend. This weekend, just across the country. Between this week, it's been bloody. It's been,
The past
yes,
24
it's been
hours.
bloody. Past 24 hours. What was the mass shooting last week as well at that at a garlic festival of all places. Like it's next level. So it's been interesting because the thought process is so many places. People are calling on gun control. Again, and it's just like, man, people are like, yo, the mass shooters are hate filled, and then we have like Chicago. It's so much happening. It's so much happening. Me, I can't. I'm gonna let y'all kick it off to kind of form how this conversation is going to go.
Yeah.
So we gonna start with you, Fresh, because a lot of these things happen. They did happen, on the West Side, which for all the jokes and intents and purposes that we make, Chicago is Chicago. Ain't no.
Chicago.
Ain't no, to me, like we joke about South Side, West Side. Yeah, that's a thing, but it's a city I'm from regardless. You know what I'm saying? If it happened there, it affects me as well in some way. So,
Yeah. Last night, early this morning, from like 1 a.m. to like 5 a.m., there were like, hold on, I can count it real fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There were 22 people shot on the West Side in like, mainly in the North Lawndale area. They shut down Mount Sinai, which is the trauma unit. They like stop accepting patients. You're not equipped. No hospital is equipped to handle 30 patients being shot in a 4-hour span, man. That's some army shit, man. That's like overseas World War II type shit. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's horrible, man. And the bad part about it, I don't see it stopping. And these definitely weren't random shooting. I mean, these weren't spaced out shootings. This was really like four, possibly five locations where this happened at. So imagine somewhere every hour, five people are getting shot in an isolated event, and that's basically what was happening this morning on the West Side. And we need something to happen, man. I feel like between drugs and the ability to get guns so easy, man, it's rough. I know everybody is preaching for gun control and gun reform, but in the meantime, we have to do something ourselves, man. And I say we have to look in the mirror. I have younger friends, cousins, whatever, that I talk to. Like, can you win? Is there any winning in the streets? I live somewhere where we lost so many people on one block. It's amazing. So this is something that sits heavy on my heart. I try to start early. That's why I have my mentoring program, man, to just explain to kids like, yo, this is not the way. There has to be another way. I think it starts with emotions. A lot of people have never learned to control their emotions, and the first thing they do is go get a gun. Between that, not being able to control your emotions, plus the drugs, which heighten whatever emotion you're feeling, it's a recipe for disaster, man. And that's what's happening out here. People feel like they're being shown up, whether it be on social media or face to face. No one can take being shown up, so they resort to violence. These are mass shootings, man. Any event where there's 8 people shot at once, that's unheard of. Let alone three times in one night, man. It's sad, man. It's very sad.
Whew.
I heard it.
It's to me, so they're all mass shootings, but I kind of separate the Chicago mass shooting from the other two mass shootings of the past 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
The Chicago mass shooting is just a cycle of young black kids not being able to have better conflict resolution skills, whatever the case may be. And it also, there's other stuff that gets involved in there, like the drug usage. You're not able to think clearly, making rash decisions out of anger and emotion. We're not teaching our children to process it because our children are being raised in places where emotion isn't being processed already amongst the adults.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as for like the other stuff, the other mass shootings, I think it's all a continued cycle of the perfect storm of bullshit that this political climate has created, in a sense, especially amongst poor whites who feel they have been wrong or having stuff taken away from them by minorities, when in fact we're all fighting the same devil: rich white males.
Mm-hmm.
But poor whites think that they're on the same level as rich white males, and that hasn't been the case since the beginning of time here. So you had these acts of violence of, oh, these guys are on my side too, and they honestly they couldn't even give a fuck. Like for them, it ain't race; it's about rich and poor. But like these races, they have been emboldened, and we're seeing more and more of these attacks, and they're not being called racist. And so it's almost giving them like a free pass to continue to do so. So, I mean, honestly, you look at all this shit going on, man, and then I even look like all how the climate is changing. Like I read into that stuff a lot, like quietly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the end of time. Like by 2075, I don't know if we even gonna be here as a race, like a human race.
I'll be gone. Period. But you know what? It's a shame because as a whole, in totality, Chicago is doing so much better. So much better. But the West Side is just so hot right now. I just don't understand. Like, me and my guys really was talking like, Joe, the South Side been so quiet.
Like low key.
It's been so quiet. I mean, it was that early war on at the beginning of the year when they were shooting up funerals and stuff. But that's really died down.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really been, Joe, it's just been crazy on the Greater West Side. I pray, y'all keep the West Side covered and keep the West Side in y'all prayers. And it's crazy, like, just a couple weeks ago, we were laughing and joking that the West Side was up. We had an alligator chance.
Right, chance to gator.
You know what I mean? So it is crazy how fast it can be a turn of events like that, man.
It's stressful, man.
Definitely. And not just that, when I had to call my people and make sure they was okay. Like certain areas, it affect everyone. You call someone like, hey, man, ain't that your block? Yeah, man, that happened like 2 houses down from my mother's house. My little sister they had just went in the house when that happened.
Crazy.
You know what I'm saying?
So today I'm walking. So today I went to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, Falcons practice they had. So I'm going, and it was interesting. It was an event. It was they kind of did it up, right? So I'm walking, and they got so many streets and things blocked off. I'm trying to get back to my car after the event. Well, not to my car, but just a place where I can get an Uber. So I'm walking, and they kind of push the traffic one way, and I'm like, I'm going away from my house. So I cut through the Georgia World Conference Center Parkway, right? So it's like nobody there but me. And I'm walking, and I'm like, in my mind, all I kept thinking about, I was looking at the top of the buildings, because I don't know if y'all have even paid attention, but that black building that McCormick Place has is kind of on the same side as Soldier Field. They often set up snipers on that roof, right? kind of like to watch everything. So I'm looking and I don't see anything like that. I'm just, walking through, take an escalator up. So I'm back to being street level. And then I'm walking and I'm looking to my right and I see 3 police officers. They looked like police. I'm sure they were police. They were like, armed, body armor on, like, cause there's a combination of all kinds of law enforcement out there. Atlanta police, and then Georgia don't really have like, I don't know if they have like a state. They do have a state police, but they have a GBI. So they like Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So they like out there heavy. But these 3 police did not see me. And I was like behind them. And I remember thinking like, damn, like somebody could have got the drop, right? That's all I was thinking. And then to my left, I see a white man walking and he walking and it was dry outside. But the crazy part, I didn't think about this after I saw him. So I looked and he was carrying a big ass long object, right? And literally I look up and I'm looking at him hard as hell. And the object turned out to be an umbrella. But I stared him down like so hard, like seeing what the fuck is this long thing that he has in his hand. Like I was like literally like looking at him like crazy as I don't know what, because I'm like, yo, like this is crazy. And I'm looking to the right, like, do y'all see him? Like, it's crazy. Like, but that's the mindset it puts you in now. Like I'm in a public place, it's a big ass football game, and I'm looking at this white dude with an umbrella. Like, man, do he got an AR? Do he got a chopper? What is that in his hand? So it's like it's warped our minds to that place. And the thing that I keep processing is that we are just a country right now as a whole. We are in a military state. And nobody is saying that as plain as can be. We're in a military state. We have military grade weaponry for sale everywhere. All these states have it. I can go into any of these states. I can buy a rifle. I'm licensed, and anybody can. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has these things. And I'm not gonna lie. I do believe in the Second Amendment. I do believe in all of that. And it's crazy because I do believe there needs to be gun control, stricter. And actually the only thing that probably reverses me, I don't think it needs to be at our level, my level. I believe it needs to be, go to these manufacturers and say, you know what, stop making that shit right now. Like period, point blank. We not doing it. But it's crazy because there's so many of them in the country. Like, and it's so many of them already here. So many people already have them. And, we're just in that state where we've let it go so far that we're so far militarized that we damn near don't have a way out. Like, even when you look at the first debate and they were talking about an assault weapons buyback, I'm like, these people who have these weapons aren't selling them back. Like they aren't doing it. So it's so weird and it's so sad. And to be honest, like I feel personally like defeated because I damn near feel like it is no way out of this. Like we've dug that hole that deep that it's like no coming back. Like that's honestly what I feel like. When you look at just the way that we are just a straight up gun culture for real, and we love violence, and violence is the way to answer all of our problems in some way, shape, or form. Like, man, it's legit scary. To be honest, it does depress me sometimes because I don't feel that there's a way out of this cycle that we're in right now.
And like you said, it's crazy how you said the militant state. I had just made a Insta story this morning. I was walking from my aunt's house to my cousin's house, and I was cracking a joke about my cousin. Said, "Man, you finna walk?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm walking. Ain't nothing wrong with walking, but hell yeah, my head's still on a swivel." Because that's just how it has to be, man. And it shouldn't have to be like that, but that's something you just have to take into account.
That's all I had was that long sigh, man.
That's all you can have.
It's rough, man. It's rough. I'm trying to think, man. Those kind of topics always throw me off because I feel like it's so much to talk about, and it's crazy because now what was the running joke? All the politicians say thoughts and prayers, and then they all say thoughts and prayers, and now if you look on social media, everybody's saying, "Oh, we don't need thoughts and prayers, we need action." But from what I can assume from what I've seen and what I've read, nobody has went to the Senate or Congress floor to ban assault weapons throughout the country, period. Like nobody's done that as of yet. So when they talk about thoughts and prayers and in action, and I don't see that as an action, like you just selling me bullshit. Like period. That's the way I see it, man. And and it's super bizarre because even if you look at it, one of the shooters, I think the shooter from today, he shot his sister's dead. Like his sister was one of the people shot. Like that's how little these people care about life who pull these tactics, man. It's super bizarre. And Chicago, it hurts my heart to even think about Chicago in this way because granted it's been happening and things like that, but it's like I always expect and I always have that hope that we're going to get better. We literally, granted, a lot of positive things happened this month. Chicago floated. We see pictures of Brewfest, Silver Room, all kinds of stuff happened throughout the city. Complex Con, the Q, all of these things happen. And those things were, of course, without incident. But then, it's like the shootings today made me pull up. I have a site that I love. It's called HeyJackass.com. It just talks about crime statistics in Chicago. You look up and just last week, right? So from July 28th until the end of the day yesterday, 8/3, we had 6 people who were killed. But we had a total of 74 shot. Like in 1 week. Like that's unreal. Unreal. We had 2 ladies who were on the block trying to stop violence, part of an anti-violence group who were killed.
Yeah.
Right. And those things literally
Crazy.
they hurt my heart, man, because you hear them and it comes to a point where in a sense some people say you're desensitized, but I even think it goes a step beyond that. Like you're essentially tore up, right? And those type of things, man. You hear them, and it's like, yo, this is just absolutely crazy. And I just hate that people in the city so great that we have to live like this, and that goes far and beyond because the same thing in Chicago and across the country is still a problem. And yeah, man, it's just out of control time that we living in, man.
Mm-hmm. Staying short.
Oh God. And I know you serious, but that was the only reaction I had.
Serious as fuck.
Well,
oh man,
we're not leaving on that note. We're not leaving on that note.
Okay. And it makes me think. So we're having we're still next Sunday at Thalia Hall. We're having a celebration of Chicago. We're having like a Chicago versus the world party. Yeah, and I think it's needed. We were going with another name at first, and we decided to switch up on the name. And I feel like this is great. This is something we need. I'm trying to bring Chicago out, man. Even like people who have any kind of influence, I want them there. I feel like when other people come to Chicago and throw something from their culture, it's celebrated way more than if we have something for our own culture. You know what I mean? So I think it's gonna be a dope event. Definitely trying to bring Chicago out, man. I feel like it's needed, man. Just I don't know the word. What's the word when
fellowship.
Fellowship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fellowship. Yeah, a nice fellowship, man. So we'll see how it go, man. But I'm really rooting for this. We actually partnered with another group, so it's Thank You Chicago and the Social. probably take on some more people as well, just to make the event as big as possible. I would love for this to be the gateway to other major events, within Chicago. So we'll see how it goes.
Nice. And don't forget Ant last week. Another successful Q in the books.
Thank you to everyone that came out. This was one of my favorite Qs. Not it wasn't as ratchet as some other Qs in the past, but I feel like it was so much love in the air. Like that's like the main thing I got from that. Like, man, everybody was dapping up, hugging each other. Even at toward the end when the police showed up because they weren't aware what was going on in the area and just heard there was a bunch of people in the back of the high school, and they pulled it. It was like, this is like one of the best things we've ever seen with our own eyes. Because it's nothing like that ever happened in Inglewood. That many people, 300-400 people together. Not like everybody like just chilling, being good. So, man, thank you to everybody that came out. Thank you to the committee who held it down from sun up to sundown. Even before sun up, we was up 4 a.m. grilling. But we did it, man. Wore me the hell out, but it's the best being worn out I could have in my life. I love it. Thank you all.
Yeah, shout out to DJ Fresh the Juice.
Fresh the Juice came on tail end, did his thing.
Tail end. Shout out to Maven.
Shout out to
Maven. He ran a marathon. I just did a quick sprint, man. Yeah, I did 100 meters.
He was appreciative of it because he literally the day before came from Africa.
Yeah.
Legit was in Africa.
Yeah, I had already told him, like, man, look, man, I know. So if you need any breathers, I got you, big dog. That man. Mm-hmm. He tagged me in, so shout out to Maven, man. Thanks for the opportunity, man. It was dope. Mine is Pharrell.
Stop it. It was interesting, man. People was like, "Oh man, you came in." I was like, "Yeah, I had to come." I don't, I could miss some other events in July, but the Q, it's so much that goes into that every year. And I know people kind of feel like, oh, it just pops up. It just happens. But, it's a lot that goes into it. And then too, I feel like the crowd that you get at the Q, is really as I think, and Wayne said in one of our group chats, like you really can't duplicate the crowd. Right. You like really can't duplicate the crowd. Like you look around and it'd be, like we said, it's always people from all walks of life at the Q, and you just be looking like, oh dang, it's just crazy. It's crazy. Like you can't duplicate it. I don't care because it's like, like Drake said, the hipsters gotta get along with the hood niggas, and so you look up and you will see the hood. You look up and next thing you know, it was people at the Q that I found out some of the jobs that they actually work, and I was like, oh shit, like damn, we probably had to book you to get here if we was anybody else, but leave it to Aunt P to bring together all walks of life.
I don't know how I find myself around some of these people, but it's a strange, interesting life I live. But I'm glad they all can come together for at least one time. I feel like now people are going out of their way to come just to show that this is Chicago and this is what we could look like.
Right, that's what I'm saying, and that's what I was
man. People.
That's definitely the case.
It's built up enough. That I think I went back and I was showing people in the barbershop the pictures, and I was like, yeah, I went home for a barbecue, and they was like, oh, okay, cool. It was like, the barbecue good? I'm like, yeah, let me show you these pictures, and they was like, that's not a barbecue. I was like, oh, I was like, well, I hear you. It's not a barbecue to us, but it's not a barbecue to you, but it's a barbecue to us, like, so yeah, definitely a great time. So I just hope it gets bigger and bigger. Keep bringing out like your smartest friends and your hoodest friends, because we can all coexist in peace. Hopefully we could find some hopefully we could find some of those unions, a happy medium. We could get some of the hood niggas to have babies by high class women and vice versa. Just we need to merge our families for generational wealth.
Generational wealth.
Facts.
Yes.
No, that'll be hilarious.
These are facts.
Bringing Cleons and the fuck. Ooh, that'll be a beautiful thing, man. Can you imagine? June. Yeah, man, my motherfucking girl gonna get a PhD tomorrow, June. I gotta find me something well.
Right. Where you meet at, man? This little barbecue. Like
behind Inglewood, Joe.
But yeah, man, fellas, this is a beautiful episode in the books. We gave people stuff to listen to. Hopefully, see, we gave y'all a little bit longer so y'all can listen like in 2 sittings and shit. So this should get you to work and home from work.
Mm-hmm.
So thank y'all for rocking with us. Much appreciated. Any parting remarks from you fellas?
I think I touched on that thing. You got anything?
No, man. Everybody rise above the madness.
Yeah, that was a nice little quote. You know,
rise above the madness.
Happy belated birthday to James Paul.
Listen.
Yes.
You know what? I got to give brother James some seconds. James Baldwin. I will say this: any person of color in the world, and people that's not, go check out in real life. Go check out some James shit and in interviews, just him talking about the country, and you damn near think James still alive. You be like, James talking about some shit that happened last week. But nah, man, James is truly one of those people that I felt his mind was so advanced that, you know, the shit he was saying never gets old.
I was just showing Aunt my James Baldwin pens. I'm gonna make me, I love my pens on my vest. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get a new jean jacket and have a black empowerment jacket.
Yeah. So yeah, man, no foreplay.
Will be on that.
We out.
We out.
No foreplay.